Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Erudition Generations. We have a good one for you today. Today is all about comic books. I'm in my comic book t-shirt. I don't know what Sean Anthony is wearing.
I'm in my flower t-shirt. What's wrong with that? I'm in my NASA hoodie.
And
All
I'm in
Thanks.
Japanese sweater.
Yes, it says New York. Today we have a special guest with us on from the Man Up Show, the man Mike Riley. Hello, Mr. Riley.
What's going on, fellas? How you doing?
We doing
Good.
I'm
It is-
excited to be working with you today.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm excited, man. Look, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the show. It's manic, it's informative, it's confusing, and it's everything that I remember being that age being. So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And funny enough, that was kind of the theme that we were going for of just classroom chit chat between brothers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad to see it worked out.
We like to get diversity. We don't want to hide our true self. So if you see me going, it's normal.
No.
Yeah.
Not really. That's how normal that is.
That's no all right. I mean, if it's normal, hey, I get it.
But today's topic is all about comic books. If you are in the comments and we're waiting for people to get here, just wondering about the topic, just drop it in. What's the topic? And we'll tell you all about comic books. No comic books are off limits. If you watch Webtoon, if you are into an animated series that got live adapted, even from manga, we got all of that.
Okay.
Me and Papa
Good.
love reading comics, manga, just anything in general that you can get your hands on.
Look, I was ready too because I don't know if you guys, y'all might be a little young, but there's a cartoon that my boys used to watch called Stanley, and he used to love animals, and he had this book called the Great Big Book of Everything, and it had all the animals and stuff that he loved in there. So I got my Great Big Book of Everything with me today, so I'm ready.
We got another Marvel encyclopedia. We got all this encyclopedias. Oh, don't
Dad
tell
is
Dad.
definitely into
Don't tell Dad that we stole this.
spread over to us. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the encyclopedia for DC, the encyclopedia for Marvel.
Nice.
We got all. Dad made sure that we definitely stayed inclusive in comic books just as much as he did. He has a tote full.
I got
of
a metahuman book somewhere, and it's just as big as this encyclopedia, and it's actually written from Bruce Wayne's perspective, and he's given like his description of
I know.
metahumans and their different powers and stuff. It's really, really cool.
I know what you mean. I think we have that. If Dad is watching, you should grab that book too. Dad, you already know from him being on your show, he loves books
Yes.
of all sorts. So naturally, he has that one. I know the one that you're talking about because we all read that. Well, I think me and Papa did, where he's just going through the metaphysics of all the metahumans.
Yeah. The
Their
breakdown of Superman was
anatomy.
really, really cool. I was like, all right.
Even the eyes, it was,
Yeah.
man, that. And he has the one for Marvel as well, so that you get to see the Hulk. I remember reading up on the Hulk comic, where I can't even remember the name of it, but the Hulk got cut up into pieces and stored in jars, and then later on
yeah.
rebuilt himself and was mad. That was it was hilarious.
Being angry is kind of his thing, so it's like, I don't see him being cut up and stuffed in cans and then coming back together. It was like, no, I'm good.
Just go on a day walk.
Well, let's hear about some of the comic books that we all read, varying through actual comic books and through manga.
You can't read manga.
I have a little bit, sort of.
One.
Recap.
bold of him to admit because we read manga, and some of those you should not be looking at.
Yeah, some of those.
You're friendly.
Good
job.
For example,
Nah.
this it's not bad, but there's this manga, Good Night Poon Poon, I think it was called. That's the most messed up thing you could ever read.
What are y'all reading?
It's a description about the downfall of this character named Poon Poon, who is a human, but he's described as like this monster creature. So it can better express his emotions and how he stands out in the crowd.
Something about those monster animes, man. It's always some freaky stuff that be going on. I'll be like, all right.
Again, that's between y'all.
I don't put me in that. Don't put me in that.
I dabble in everything, but I don't read nothing that's too messed up or too gritty because I just don't have the receptors to be sad no more.
I mean, I don't like
reading. I like reading the mangas because you are able to, even if it's not animated, like the Berserker, but no, it's Berserker.
Oh, no.
If you read that one, it is beautiful handwritten. They messed up the anime adaptation, in others' opinion. For me, it was just like they tried their best.
Honestly, I'm always happy when I see something get animated at all because there's so many comics out in the world, especially for DC, that don't get but it's a great story.
Yeah, for example, the Komi-san Can't Communicate thing that really blew up because people were like really antisocial at the time, and they felt like they could relate to the characters. So
I want to be able to read mangas, but I can't really find them easily here around the house.
I don't think we own. We just do it. I do it digitally. Because
you're gonna have to give me that. I need to find
it. My son reads manga, but he likes the actual. He likes the actual. Well, actually, yeah, he likes the actual book. I know he's. It's funny because he's really heavy into anime. And the crazy thing here, okay, so I'm old. Let's just get that established. See, I got the, I'm a little bit on the older side. Me and your dad run in the same circles. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I used to watch anime and didn't realize that it was anime. Like when I was younger, some long time ago, when I was waking up and getting ready to go to school, there was a cartoon that used to come on called Battle of the Planets. And that was one of my favorite cartoons. It was Battle of the Planets, Robotech, which in Japan it was called Macross, and Voltron. I had no ideas. I had no ideas those were considered to be anime. I just thought they were really, really cool cartoons, and they looked different than, the cartoons that I was used to. Like, what was the stuff that was coming on when I was young? Like Scooby-Doo and Fred Flintstone and the Jetsons and all of those guys. And so that style of animation, it was like, whoa, what is this? I didn't even realize it was anime. So then, of course, years later, I got reintroduced to it, and and started back watching it again.
Yeah,
I feel where you're coming from because a lot of shows that me and Papa watched, we didn't know that it was anime either because it was, what was that show, Papa? You had Bakugan, you had Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh. You knew them from the eye.
You had a lot of animated that were just normal.
But you never saw that style before, so I relate to that because it's like, nah, this is much more detailed than your silly cartoon.
Yes,
you see on Cartoon Network. Yes. This is wow. It stands out. I remember, well, back when Cartoon Network would loop the shows around to Toonami, which we should have been awake for, but they played this. They played Evangeline. That was the first one I had realized. Oh wow, there's a huge.
Yeah, we don't
Never
talk
again.
about Evangelion things.
Nope, never, ever again.
Look,
I tried watching it, Papa. It went to the hospital scene.
Bro,
I could not.
bro, I watched the whole thing through, and let me
Okay.
tell you, I have PTSD whenever I see people clapping their hands in the show.
Yep, yep.
It's that series scarred me, man.
No, and I felt bad for all the characters because even the main character, he didn't fully understand and grasp the concept of what was happening. So he was doing things he shouldn't have done to cope with that. And it was really messed up and detailed. And
I'm
that's why we don't talk about Evangelion no more. Never again. That was horrible.
But that's again from your perspective of streaming. Had it 2 o'clock should not have been 2. It was cable, so you tuned in, and whatever was running, and then it was commercial. So
you know what's
you were
funny?
there.
So like when you talk about anime, there's so many different genres of anime, right? You have like your like you have like comedic anime, and you have like your drama type stuff like Kaguya Lovers War, which I really love that series. Like some of the newer ones I really like is like Spy Family. I love that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, Kaguya Lovers War, I like that one. Attack on Titan.
And then there's another. Have you seen another?
I have not seen another. They redid Rurouni Kenshin, which
Oh
is
yeah, I saw that. That was pretty.
man, that one is real. That one is really good. They redid that one, and then I think my current favorite right now is probably Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I can relate.
Yeah, but
Especially with the movie coming out. I'm good.
one of my favorite animes and my first anime, actually not my favorite. My first anime was, I can't really remember its full name, but it had followed around the story of Sunibio.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Chanibio and Other Delusions.
Yeah.
Illusions. I like that show because I like when animes when they talk about real things.
That was like your slice of life anime.
Yeah,
Where-
It was pretty good. One of my
those animes remind me of soap operas. Like I
Yeah.
can watch them sometimes, and it's like,
Yeah, other times I'm not really in the mood for it.
But
yeah, it really does depend on what I'm in it. Like it really depends on what I'm in the mood for. I don't really like a lot of gore and stuff like that. It's like I get it, but because like Demon Slayer at times can be kind of gory, but it's not like extreme. There was an anime from some years ago called Fist of the North Star.
Yep,
Yeah.
we all saw that one.
Yeah,
We
and
love-
I remember
we
the
love
first
Fist of-
time I watched that, and you talk about PTSD, that really kind of got me because I was like, I've never seen somebody's head explode in a cartoon. So that
I
was
mean, to be fair though, I would kind of like that power. Just hit these pinpoints and boom, somebody's exploded.
yeah. Can you imagine being in Walmart and be like, excuse me, and it's like people heads blowing up in the self checkout. It's like I don't
I,
need
I
that power.
think the best part of Kenshiro of Fist of the North Star for me is when Kenshiro is walking through the building. Because we all walk through the head. It's like this man is covered in sand and dirt, and he's just walking through a building.
And
Like,
we never said anything else about it. We were just like, oh, he walked through buildings, and then the bad guys proceeded to try to beat him up. And it's like,
that was
why?
That was classic. Now, so after Fifth of the North Star, I had stopped watching anime for a long time, and then I got reintroduced into anime with this movie called Ninja Scroll. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It's definitely age restrictive, but if you get a chance, look up Ninja Scroll, and it's the story of this guy named Jubei Kipagami, and it's definitely a goated anime movie. It's one of those movies that's like when people talk about anime movies, you got like Akira and not Fist of the North Star, but Akira and Ninja Scroll is always mentioned somewhere in that top 5, top 10. It's one of my favorite movies when I think about it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
We love those.
But-
Mom said, did y'all know anime is deeply rooted in religious beliefs?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
Yeah.
Depending on what you watch, though, because sometimes there ain't no God in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, but there are
That's
talismans and
true.
stuff. They almost
Something that-
always use talismans and Buddha and almost all that other stuff.
Even
There
in
is-
Demon Slayer, the character Akaza, I'm pretty sure his moveset is designed around that, isn't it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, but even in like Demon Slayer, I get it because that also has religious backgrounds into what
Mhm.
demons were perceived in Japanese
Yeah, let's
ancient
not
time.
let's
scripture.
not talk too deep about it because I don't want anybody that's trying to watch it get spoiled. It's going our
We're not
comments.
giving out spoilers. We're just
Yeah,
appreciating.
but still,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
just name. info.
Can we address the elephant in the room?
Sure.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, what we have to say about that?
Let's talk about it. I mean, because I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about it. Now, first of all, we're not referring to the atrocity that was M. Night Shyamalan's movie, because that movie was trash.
Yeah.
Yep.
Never
Let's-
talked about that.
Let's agree on that. That was horrible.
That was breakdown.
However, they have now a new live action series on Netflix. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't watched the whole series. I did love the cartoon when it was running on Nickelodeon. But I see a lot of, when I'm online, I see a lot of hate. And I don't know if and most of that hate is from people who just don't want a live action version of the cartoon, or they're disappointed because the live action version doesn't follow the cartoon 100% of the way. Where do you guys stand when it comes to like live action adaptation? Do you care? Do you like them? Do you
Should I
not
go
like
get-
them?
I want to go.
I want to go first because I love when they adapt things to live action, because I watched the live action One Piece thing. I watched the live action not Ichigo, but Bleach thing. I didn't really like the casting in the Bleach one, but it's okay.
I didn't like the live action Cowboy Bebop though. That one was.
Oh
kinda-
yeah, that was yeah.
that was trash. I'm sorry. I didn't
One
get
thing
that.
that I have to say, I heard about the live action Death Note. Oh, I heard so much bad stuff about
I
it.
never watched that.
Yeah,
I didn't watch that.
Let's just say that the live action Death Note did not follow the story at all. They did a DC. They just
But
they
the
looked
thing
at
is,
it and then
I
completely
saw the-
threw it out the window.
I saw the live action Bleach with Mom, and I'm pretty sure she remembers me ranting because I watched all 26 seasons of Bleach.
Oh
And-
my god, you sound like my son with One Piece.
Oh,
Oh
then-
yeah,
hold on.
So,
So let's go ahead and put the worst live action known to man. That Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, that Dragon Ball Z. That's
Oh,
the
that
worst
was
movie on
horrible.
the Tomatoes app. That sucks. And it
That
was
was-
only dethroned by Velma, the new Velma series.
It was, you know what? I'm with you. I don't mind live action adaptations, right? And here's the thing. Like, I understand, first of all, when you talk about adaptations, we know that it's not going to be an exact one of the thing it's adapting, right? So I think people kind of get that confused, like, oh my god, it's shut up.
But it's also with
adaptation.
the fan bases of these people.
Oh,
It's not
the
the same.
worst.
The fan base. That's what I was saying.
Hold on,
No,
what you gonna say?
Worst.
Fan bases are losers.
No,
I'm part of that.
That's,
I'm part of that fan base. I may not be a major part of it, but I am at least
no,
part
no,
of
no. I'm not saying all of them. I'm
Right.
saying some of them. People learned that after they started releasing anime figures. People started putting them in jars, doing sexual things to the jars. It was
What?
horrible. That's what he said. That the
If you to elaborate on that, have you watched scenes?
No,
where,
don't elaborate on that. I don't
Exactly, bro.
elaborate.
Why are you trying to elaborate on that?
We don't want to elaborate on that one.
yeah,
it's been a lot of controversy. Let's just say that.
All right,
Yeah.
let me say
a
this
lot
real
of
quick. They're the worst fiction, but I'll give it in two titles. So there's the okay, it's a little bit acceptable, and oh God, please get me out of here. The okay section is JJK, a Jujutsu Kaisen. If you haven't watched it, I do recommend watching it.
I do
But
want to watch that.
the oh my God, please get me out of here section would go to My Hero Academia because
It's about character
I
development.
like My Hero.
no, I like
it's
Ronnie too.
okay.
But
It's just
if you look at the fan base, it's
I mean,
Well, we're talking about
when
fan base.
you look at the fan base,
I don't
you
think
can't look
any fan base is worse than. I don't think any fan. Now, y'all may. I'm gonna tell you who I think have the worst fan base. Besides
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z fans, Batman fans are the absolute worst. And I know
hold on.
Wait,
I
wait.
completely disagree with
I
you.
know this because I am a Batman fan.
Oh, okay, all right.
I tend to fall in that category because for a while I was the one who would believe that Batman could beat Jesus with enough prep time. That's just how I always felt. But so it's like some of the fans. I say that though because, like, when you figure Naruto, not Naruto, but Avatar, that cartoon was on like how many years ago? It was. I mean,
Yeah,
I remember.
2010.
Yeah,
That was the high days of Nickelodeon.
that was a hot, absolutely. So
Yeah.
it was a while. It was a while ago, and so now we know that they released a movie, and the movie wasn't that great. And there are some things with adaptations like that I don't understand. Like, why would you change the pronunciation of the names? Like, why would you call him Ong instead of Aang? I mean, that's clearly his name. Like, it was changes that he did that I didn't understand, and then the movie itself was just stupid. And I understand you're trying to cram 3 books into, or maybe the first book into like an hour and a half movie. But
And I think that's what
Zack Snyder and made it as long as physically possible so that you could go ahead and watch it all.
exactly. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Look, if I sat through 4 hours of the Justice League,
I'm gonna be happy.
I mean, I was okay with that. I mean, but if it's good, I don't mind.
if it's good and
However,
the story is
sometimes
good,
they could brainwash you. Like, I'm sitting there for 4 hours. I think it's good because I've been here for 4 hours.
Look, let me tell you something. I came up on watching the Lord of the Rings special edition, sir. That had to be about at least each of them was about 3.5, 4 hours. So, I'm okay with the Justice League, but I think the fan base is so sometimes the fan base can be so toxic that and so stuck in their ways that they don't give a certain thing a chance. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I'm sorry. Now, do y'all know Rise of the TMNT, right? Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, I grew up on the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As a matter of fact, they are celebrating their 40th anniversary this year. That's just how long TMNT has been out. And now you know how old I really am. So anyway, I'm just a big fan of TMNT. When Rise came out, I was so against it because they changed the roles where they had Raph as the leader and Leonardo, like he wasn't the leader anymore, and they changed his attitude. And I didn't watch it. Every forum I went on all these different forums and was talking about it and this, that, and the other, and was like, this is stupid. And eventually it went off the air. I was like, whatever.
Hey, I feel you because I was the same way with Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a diehard Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
But what they did with these last couple of movies, they could have kept that.
Yeah.
I mean,
but here's
fair,
the thing.
though. The only thing I kind of have against, I have nothing against the Star Wars trilogies because they can make as many as they want because of the universe. The only problem I have is that with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they have not stopped making more Ninja Turtles, but with weirder designs. The original design was super cool. They animated shadows and everything, and I was like, "This is nice."
Oh yeah, you're talking about the Nickelodeon
one. Yeah, they slowly animated it worse and worse, and then it's like, what is this? I grew up with this.
Yeah, just like they did with Scooby Doo.
But again, that could also be said with the Teen Titans. You had the Teen Titans and you had the Teen Titans. This again,
and
that difference between anime and silly cartoons. Because the original Teen Titans was animated overseas in Japan, and it looked like an anime. It was an anime.
Those are really good examples, and here's why I say that. Like in regards to fan base, because I grew up on the Turtles, and I was so dead set on it just being exactly the way I remember it. I didn't want to give Rise of the TMNT a chance. And it was one day somebody had sent me this clip on TikTok, and it was the fight from Rise of TMNT with Leonardo and Crane. It was one of the best animated fight scenes I had seen, and I was like, "What is this?" And they was like, "Oh, this is from Rise." I'm like, "Not that stupid one with Raphael being the leader." They was like, "Yeah." So I went back, and my son went back, and we started watching it on Netflix, and I was ashamed of myself because I was like, the show is actually really good, and I just never gave it a chance because I was so upset at how they changed it from the way that I grew up on it. And I'm saying that to say that sometimes I think when it comes to like these adaptations and different versions of it, we get so caught up in nostalgia and remembering the way that they were that we don't give the newer versions a chance to kind of grow and to see exactly
and be their own person.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Yeah, like one of my friends, Chris, who is also my cousin, and he refuses to watch One Piece or even give it a chance, mostly because it's too long, bad animation, and I do have
it better.
Yeah,
as it
yeah,
happens.
but I have to say this is me and Ellie, and I think Papa or Teddy, he has watched Toradora. And
I was just mentioning that. That's one of my favorite animes. It's not completely a slice of life anime, but it's a good progression.
It came out. Well, what I have been told, it came out the same year as
I was born. The same year.
Yeah, the same year.
It was very, very, very modern. And
yeah.
That's so good.
It was actually surprising. And one thing that I do hate the anime does is it will have you hooked and then just stop. And it has a manga and it just keeps going and going and going. But the anime just stays back. A good reference for this is One Punch Man.
As a person that read Berserk, I'm offended.
Yeah.
Because it has been a very long hiatus. Even like Devil's a Part-Timer, which we all watched.
Oh, yeah.
It was back in 2013. And then because it took interest on Netflix, the people were like, "Oh, y'all want this again?" And they made another one all the way back in 2022. Like,
that was the longest cliffhanger ever. Why?
But they used to call them in school anyway, weeds, and they were never embraced.
Yep.
But now you have a lot of
people where you have to stay in and ran out of things to watch.
He said nerds.
And this
I guess what, Dad? We blame this on you. You kind of made us like this. You got all those books and stuff. We like to read, and we love all sorts of books.
My niece told me, she was like, "Uncle Michael, do you know that you're a nerd?" I was like, "What?" She said, "You're a nerd." I'm like, "No, I'm not." She said, "Yes, you are." And she started going through the nerd checklist, and I was like, "All right, I might be one then."
Nah, we're Hexaclytans. We don't deal with the word nerd.
What did this happen?
But yeah, to be fair, most people don't give shows a chance. So, and that's kind of why I live by watch at least 4 episodes of something.
Yeah.
That way that if you get hooked, you know that it's a good show. But that's kind of the thing that led me into watching Evangelion completely through. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's a
I
foolproof
wouldn't
thing.
say that
Every
fans.
time you say that, I can only think about the hospital scene. After that, I couldn't watch another episode. I was so broken. Never again. Oh, and hold on. Let's address the problem here that Teddy keeps bringing up. Berserk. What? Do you know how? Do you know what happened? Because if you do, that just makes it worse.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do know what
No,
happened.
no. Stop reading immediately. When stuff like that happens, I gotta stop. I can't stomach it no more. Never again.
I'm not even gonna ask what y'all watch.
But
Uh,
again, we
it was
grew up
horrible.
on it. We grew up on it on Tsunami because again, we shouldn't have been up at that time. Sometimes you are. You turn on the TV, it's like, oh, these designs, and then you remember the name, and then later when it came to streaming, and you're in an online age, you go, okay, let me go back and do this. I recently did the same thing with the Sonic the Hedgehog series, which I remember that was my first experience in our library. Dad took us to the library and said, check out a bunch of books or CD, DVDs or whatever you think is interesting. And I remember seeing, oh, Sonic the Hedgehog has a comic. So I picked this up and I'm like, no, it's from the TV show. Sally, the Freedom Fighter, everyone's here. So I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And I get that understanding of I don't want to give new things a try because you keep messing it up, in my opinion. And I try to get out of that because the Freedom Fighters, you're not going to put them in. But when you do games like Sonic Forces that you quite literally forced whatever character that was, and if anybody who's played that or has learned the story of it, probably won't like it.
Yeah.
And then they reset that whole universe because the dude had a lawsuit, and it ended completely in 2013. And I was crushed.
Yeah.
I mean, but think about how many series,
What?
how many book series have been canceled or rewritten because of the fact that somebody it changed authors or something like that.
And then some series like God of High School, like
Man, I need to watch that.
yeah.
Or High School of the Dead.
No, you should
No,
not.
we ain't talking
Oh,
about
I
that.
was gonna watch
Actually,
that.
you want to hold on. You want to talk about actual good series. Nah, bro. You want to talk about actual good series because Eric is up in here mentioning all of these.
7 Deadly Sins.
Yeah, mentioning all these
One
good
Punch
shows.
Man.
But you know what?
Yeah. I saw. What did he say? I saw 7 Deadly Sins.
7 Deadly Sins.
7 Deadly Sins was was my favorite character.
Yeah,
One
7
Punch-
Deadly Sins. Demon Slayer, absolutely. Let me ask y'all this. Since he mentioned Demon Slayer, somebody had to take that Demon Slayer was overrated, and that it's only because it's animation that people regard it as highly as they do.
I mean, yeah, it's an anime. What do you expect?
I mean,
That's the point.
Elliot, you got it right, man.
I mean, yeah, it's an adaptation of the manga. Of course, that's what it is. And then anybody, you like the story and you know the development of what's going on.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've never been emotionally invested in a cartoon character. The only time I was ever that emotionally invested was when I was a kid and Optimus Prime died in the original Transformers movie.
Somebody finally mentioned it because yes, Dad showed me that one. I was
my
like,
God! Now you talk about
Prime.
traumatized. My heart was absolutely broken when I came out of that movie theater. I was happy for Rodimus, but it was like, how do you kill? Because you just never would have thought that Prime could die. And as a kid, that traumatized me, like for real. And I didn't watch Transformers for a while because I was really upset that Prime died. But I've never been emotionally invested in a cartoon like I am, or an anime like I am with Demon Slayer. it's something about these characters where it's just like I just want them to win.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
can give
And it's
I can give you two of them that you, unless you've seen them already,
yeah,
that
and I
will
can
have you emotionally
right.
invested.
Exactly.
But I'll go. Papa will have me watch Assassination Classroom.
Yeah.
That
The ending was
if you didn't think that you could be emotionally invested into a character,
mhm.
go watch Assassination Classroom. I'm
Oh,
trying
wait,
to the
wait.
end and figure out. Oh my god! And then there's another one, Clanad. CLANND. You watch Clanad.
wait, is that the
Oh,
one
The
that
first one, and then you watch After Story, and you think to yourself,
that I was going to find that anime. I do not recommend watching it if you're
oh,
like
actually, you want to know something that'll have you really emotionally invested? Ico. AICO.
Yeah, Dad is cracking me up in these comments. He said, "I'm glad y'all are using the
You
subscriptions
want an
that you have
actual
because I pay for
series
Crunchyroll."
that will make it so that
and we
you're
watch
emotionally involved in everything. There's only two I got. Akuma Kill.
exactly.
A guy. Oh my God.
I agree
Oh,
100%. If you didn't die, if you didn't cry as a kid when Prime died, you were not a fan. You just wasn't.
I
Because
mean,
even
Akuma was
seeing
the
that
coolest, was the leader of them, and he was
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah,
I
man.
mean,
he
bro.
had that original toy with his blaster, and he says that last line that he gives, and it's like, now I'm crying because
I remember when they released the live action one, man. Now I'm gonna tell you, there are very few movie moments. There are very few moments when I went to the movie that I was really really geeked about. Captain America using Mjolnir. That was great. Having all three Spider-Mans in the same movie was a moment. Um, Prime dying was a moment. I remember when they made the first live action Batman in '89, and it was
Adam
with,
West.
yeah, no, not with Adam West, with Michael Keaton.
Oh, okay,
Michael
okay,
Keaton
yeah,
with Michael Keaton
he is Batman.
and Jack Nicklaus. That was another moment when they made the live action Transformer movie. The first one that came out in 2007. I was so geeked to go and see that. It was just like because I grew up on Transformers. And you don't know, like there were hours when I would be like on the bus or riding in the car, and I would be looking at cars and wondering what they would be like in real life if they transformed. And to see that being brought to life in film, oh my! The first time when Prime transformed, I cried. I'm not gonna kid you. As an adult, I cried because it's like I never thought I would be able to actually see this like for real.
And I feel that, man, because you get you get to a state where you see it in cartoons. We watch the
Mhm.
X-Men, and it's like you see it in cartoons all the time, but when you see the character for real, it gives you a state of, oh, this this is now real. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
Blessings, Lonnie. Thank you for tuning in.
Minister
Black
Newman, what's going
Black
on, man?
Clover, Black Lagoon. Black Lagoon was good too.
Black Lagoon.
Black
Okay.
Clover. Yeah, I like Black Clover, but ever since they came onto Disney, I don't know how.
I'm
I
gonna
feel.
have to check. Y'all gonna have to give me a list of some ones I'm gonna have to check out because y'all named a couple that I hadn't heard of, and
Well,
I'm gonna have to.
Oh,
I didn't know.
let me name another one. I cannot say the full name, but it is HE double hockey six of a butler. I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
that
Oh
and I
yeah.
didn't
That
really
was.
Oh yeah,
it
I
was
actually
about
like that one. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
pretty
that's pretty
good.
good.
yeah,
Oh, and what's that one, buddy?
we know that's huge in Japan because over in Universal, Attack on Titan has a whole theme park, and trust, that's why me and Papa want to go.
oh yeah.
Part of the fact because it's a lot.
Hold on.
Part of
It's
the
a,
reason I want to go is that Nintendo.
Yeah, that's why I want to go. But not
Mario-
only that,
Have you
but
seen the one that
recently,
they got in Japan? Oh my
yeah,
god!
Mhm.
I,
We
I
want
was,
that's
I-
absolutely
gotta get
beautiful.
over there.
yeah.
Well-
man, it's so much stuff I want. I'm like, I am just a big kid because I see some things like that Nintendo World. I said, okay, I need to go and check that out because that
Yeah.
just looks cool.
I'm a really big fan of Mario, so I will go over there.
Yeah, I remember you used to wear your little cappy hat. Yeah.
Yeah, his
I
whole,
still have it.
whole room Mario. He grew
Really?
up with Mario as we did. One of the favorite genres for Mario for me is always going to be Mario Galaxy though, because for some
Yes.
people I get it, it's going to be 64 for the very first 3D. But
Any
you
Zelda
cannot
game ever is best.
Galaxy's Orchestra.
Have you
And
guys
that-
played Wonder?
Yes, we're
Oh,
playing
yeah.
it now.
Oh yeah,
I love it,
Yeah.
man.
It is
actually-
I like the Wonder and all, but it does look like it's heavy implications of something that you would take like a
Puff
substance.
Mountain. No, that's Puff.
Yeah, Puff Mountain.
Yeah, but y'all all forgetting the best one because there is one genre of Mario that will always live forever in legend for me, and that is Mario Party 8. That was the first.
Mario
that
Party
was
with
the-
the hat dude. His
That
hat
was
was
the
so
first
iconic.
game
If
that
you
introduced Mii's being able to be played.
Yup, and rivalry, like that rope mini game.
And not only that, but whenever you
screaming.
shook the remote, it would always make a noise. And
Yeah.
Mario's "Come On" was always
Yup,
just so
and
good.
the soda bottle mini game and stuff where we were shaking it so hard.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Do you all think that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has honestly fell off, or do you think that it's just overly saturated right now?
I feel okay.
It's
Let
a
me
bit
tell
of both,
you.
'cause, like it's
Yeah, it's kind of oversaturated with content at the moment, but also some of the content is not that good.
Not that good.
I
Yeah,
mean,
okay,
not to
I
name
feel it
too,
like
but
So do you guys think that after Endgame, the content like the movies that they released, do you think that they because when you look at the setup for this is just my personal opinion. When you look at the setup for like that first 10 years from the original Iron Man to to Endgame, it was like that build up. I don't like you can't replicate that, right? You can't recreate that.
But that's a lot of credit to Stan Lee,
Yeah,
who was
I think
on the
so too.
sidelines with that. Because when he was alive, they would run things by him, and Stan Lee was old, so he didn't have time to play with you. He quite literally said that it does not matter who wins the writer, who wins the writer. Whoever the writer said to win, he's going to win. And when they said that, it's like, oh. Because if you enter these death battles of who would win, Superman versus Batman, whoever the writer wants, and he's like, that kills
Right.
out.
And I never thought those was fair because I always looked at it like if the guy likes Superman, he gonna always have Superman win no matter who he
Exactly.
goes up against.
That's why I was watching.
And he knew how to tell a story and to keep you interested because he wrote the character. But when he passed, you kind of saw that decline, and we don't know how to do a story. Then the CGI fell off, like with She-Hulk. Yeah, and one of my favorite Marvel comics is World War Hulk. So I was very mad about that.
Okay.
So
let me ask you guys this, and y'all give me your honest opinion on these movies. Is Eternals as bad as people try to make it out to be? Yes or no?
I like the speed animation that they had. The speed
Okay, that Speed Force animation was. I think the only other one was Quicksilver in the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
But that was one of the best. That was one of the best versions I've seen too. But do y'all think the Eternals was as bad as people try to make it out to be?
It wasn't that bad, but I don't like how they once they addressed slavery, it was because one of the only black people that was there, and they were like, "Well, why didn't you help?" Like that was kind of really messed up.
for me,
I think
it
we're
was
gonna talk about the fact that that same dude was like, "I can't believe we made this bomb," and it was.
Oh
like,
yeah, he helped. He helped dude make the bomb. That was really messed up to bring up. That was so weird.
All
That
right.
is, yeah, it was really weird. And in all
What?
honesty, if it wasn't for those
What do you mean you ain't seen an Iron Man movie?
What?
We
Stop
gonna
it,
need
Tim.
we gonna need
We're
you
gonna need
to.
to do an intervention. If he's never seen an Iron Man
yeah,
movie,
you don't
I
have to
mean,
watch
come on, man.
the two Iron Mans.
Yeah, at least the first two.
Yeah,
I mean,
please.
All right,
okay.
then.
What about what's the what about Miss? What about the what about Let's talk about Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel because a lot of people didn't like Miss
I
Marvel
like
Okay,
that
Miss
much.
that
Marvel.
the reason that people didn't like that, in my opinion, was because the oversaturation with that they have with women empowerment. But there was no women empowerment in that. It was very culturally diverse.
Yeah.
Even with the people that were singing as a
Mhm.
form of language, there was different ethnicities and backgrounds,
Mhm.
and you had an Arabian chick, you had white and black women coming together in a movie, and they
Yeah.
thought, okay, this is something to hate on because one thing that you will always see in a fan base is
Culture, I hate it. I can't stand how
exactly
it's always
it does
over
not
there.
like culture, and it is very diehard racist right now
It's
Well,
because of
really
the way that it is our country is right now. Like even in Star Wars, the
Mhm.
Vader series was great, but they hated on it because it had a black chick in it, and she played a heck of a role in that.
I thought she was really good in that. But you know what? They were like that when not this new Ghostbusters that's out, but you had
oh
the
yeah, that
original
other
Ghostbusters,
Ghostbusters.
but then they had the Ghostbusters with the all-female lead, and it was like a lot of people had it was a lot of hate towards that movie. But
Yeah, I remember that.
if we're gonna be honest, it just wasn't that good.
Yeah, in
No, it
all
was meant to be a comedy, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it
yeah,
just
it
wasn't.
was not really that fun. This
That's
might
why.
It wasn't that great.
That's
this
why
might
when they
be
did this one, that's not even recognized as canon.
Yeah.
It shares the name, but deep down, you decide what is canon. Star Wars doesn't understand that because when the first Last Jedi was out, and you hear Mark Hamill say, "I had to play a completely different character," never watched it.
Now
yeah.
wait,
I was
is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I thought Afterlife was okay, but it's nothing compared. Oh yeah, dude, look
yeah.
Yeah,
that did me
We
in
all
too.
saw we all saw Afterlife, and that is uh,
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
canon
that
Yeah,
scene
because
Cynthia
that
was
scene with
really
Egon
involved because she
that was
wanted to get
different.
them back together to go ahead and make another Ghostbusters before
Yeah,
he
before he died.
passed.
Yep, he sure did. All right, so with I always have this discussion with my guys, and they was talking about, man, you know what? This phase of Marvel movies, man, it's just not as good as the last phase. And I'm like, I think it is, but I think with anything it's just like I love pizza, and if I
Hmm.
eat pizza every day, eventually I'm going to get sick of it, and I'm going to want something different. And I think the thing with Marvel is because they have so much content and because they have so many characters and because the universe can be as huge as they want to make it, I think they just oversaturated the market and it was just too much because you had series, you had animated series and
Yep.
regular
not to
series.
mention the fact of what Mom brings up. With
What
it
you
could have
say?
had more sci-fi, but we saw that in She-Hulk that
Oh, I was just gonna bring
their
that up.
budget,
I
their
get it
budget
off
with
the
sci-fi was not there,
I didn't
Yeah.
like
so
She-Hulk.
they couldn't do too much because the Marvel universe, as you saw with the encyclopedia, it is huge. We had a
It's
poster of
huge.
just how huge
Come up with
it
that.
is. It it is a huge universe of nothing but different
Yeah.
people. All these
I didn't
phases,
know that there was a guy when Thor died actually took over the spirit of Thor until he was like revived or whatever. I'm like, who is the it's
even with
it's
even with Squirrel Girl, which we always make fun of, because it's like,
with
how in the
Squirrel
world?
Girl.
We
It's
ain't gonna talk about how
crazy.
Squirrel Girl is the most powerful mutant though, because I hate to tell you, a mutant that's so strong they can defeat Thanos with ease. Yeah.
I used to I used to tease my buddy because he didn't believe me. I was like, listen, y'all sleep on Iceman because Iceman is one of the most powerful mutants in the universe. He was like, really? Iceman? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
Ice
all these comics, you have so many diverse characters. I'm reading one right now that is relatively new called Nemesis. If you thought the Joker was a bad villain, if you read the first chapter of Nemesis, you realize this man is a menace to the society. Why has no one killed him?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
but
the Squirrel Girl thing, I really had a joke, but because this is I'm gonna refrain from.
yeah, before,
I'm
hey,
gonna refrain from saying it, but yeah,
yeah.
she was something else.
But one thing I would like to say before, or we have to start wrapping things up, I'd like to say, hey, that today was a good show. Oh, I loved having our. Yes, it was
here.
great to have you on, Mr.
Oh,
Riley.
Good job.
We will have to do this again when your
Yeah.
son is on, because we could go all day with comic books. If you think that this house is swarming with history books and educational books, the genre of comic books far surpasses that.
You know what? If we can get at least, I I think like 3 likes is the average. If we
Right.
get 5 likes, and at least 100 views, I we will do a 2 hour.
Okay, so 100 views. Hold on, back up.
Nah, I
Matthew.
think we're gonna do a 2 hour special one next time because
Yeah.
had I known that we could go this far into this topic, I definitely would have.
Oh
Alright.
man, I mean, look, it's you know what's funny. I can talk about this stuff all day because it's I'm always in conversations with people when, especially when it comes to nostalgia. You know, like and remakes. Like, there's always a big debate about remakes. Should they be done? Because you always hear people say, "Oh my God, why did they remake that? My childhood is ruined." All right, if your childhood was based off a movie, then your childhood sucked. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Exactly.
You know,
Like
and
I was glad when they did Teen Titans the way that they did, but I wouldn't go as far as say it ruined my childhood. I had a life.
it's like, just go and watch the old movie. I don't,
It's
I
on
don't
DVD.
understand.
I had a bike to ride.
I mean,
had places
but to be fair, it depends on how the remake's doing it. Because if the remake is pretty much going back and rewriting the same script but over, in other words, they're going into the canon that you like and then just ripping it apart slowly. That's when I kind of do have a little bit of a problem. Because what you're doing is you're going into the series I like, destroying my character that I liked, and then coming back out and going like, "I hope you like this." And it's
Exactly.
like,
Fredo, I have to say it. Exactly. Velma, man, that made so many people mad because when they were even releasing the teasers for the stuff, people pointed out that the animations didn't even look like they came from the same show. People
Right.
were heated. That's the only reason they watched it.
nah, bro.
And
You know what I have to say
get
about
that.
that? Oh no, you can go ahead, Mike.
Okay. Now I get that, and that's fair. But I think also, though, sometimes us fans have to realize two things. Number one, the remakes is normally about money, right?
Mhm.
Because they want to make money, and also it's to reintroduce something that we as fans love to people who may not have ever seen it. And so
Yeah.
sometimes, like, depending on how they do it, like when they do change things, I think they change it with the changing of the times. Take TMNT for instance, right? The old Turtle movie, which came out, the original live action Turtle movie that came out in 1990, that had the guys in the rubber suits and everything. I can watch that all day because in my eyes, how I remembered it, it was fantastic. It was great. It was the first time seeing the turtles in like real life. But then the ones that they made in, what was that? Was it 2014 or when did that one come out? 20
Yeah, I think it was
No, no.
2014.
2014.
something around that time.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay, but people absolutely hated it. oh, the stupid CGI, and why didn't they use the rubber suits? Well, the rubber suits wasn't that great. That's
Yeah.
why they didn't use them.
Because when you have better technology, you do better.
You
And
do
but they
better,
didn't
you
like
do
that.
different. So,
And
you
it's
know,
like, okay, you wrapped up in the nostalgia too much. And my fear is that people from that make it, they listen to that, and then you mess it up
Oh
for
yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
apparently the rubber suits that they were being forced to wear was actually hurting them. And that actually appears in a lot of movies. He's like Willy Wonka, where you know that girl that got turned purple, that was
Mhm.
sticking onto her skin.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
come off.
Oh yeah, I've seen those
Where's
documentaries.
you learn that from?
The Wizard of Oz, the original cast of the Wizard of Oz, they went through some stuff.
They went, listen, that prosthetics for the old Wizard of Oz, boy. I think Scarecrow really did. He didn't have a brain after that movie was done because they probably pulled it out after they took all that makeup off of him. He was going through a thing.
In the
And then
original,
there was Mercury paint with the.
oh yeah, everybody's mad at Invincible, but wasn't in the original, not Willy Wonka movie. I'm thinking about Alice in Wonderland, where the dude was hanging in the background of the set. Oh, that was
No, they
horrible.
disproved that. They were like,
Was
yeah,
it
that was
That
was
wasn't.
fake. But
I know people.
there's
go through
one
things,
remake
but
that
was
nobody ever really talks about that's been remade as many times as possible, and that's Power
Godzilla.
Rangers.
crazy.
Power Rangers.
Is there
They
really
have
a
remade
remake?
that
Or is
several
it
thousand
just
times.
they just keep making different ones?
Yeah, first was Power Rangers, then was Disco Rangers, then was Dino Rangers.
Disco
Then it was ridiculous. And I
Disco Rangers
remember
was-
one of the episodes of some Power Rangers, they had every Power Ranger from every single
Yes.
spin-off series come out and fight the enemy. And it's like,
Hey, that was
where
one of
have
the
you all
greatest
been?
moments in Power Ranger history. They actually had a movie where it was every Red Ranger from all of the Power Rangers up to that point. It was manic, and I loved every minute of it.
Yeah,
that-
that was.
I loved
I
it.
will admit that was the greatest fight I ever saw.
But when you're a real fan of the show, you love to see that.
Yeah.
But when you only come, because we watched Frasier, right? People were hating on the new Frasier that came out. We loved the original Frasier.
I love the
I love
original
the new
Frasier.
one.
I actually like the new Frasier. I mean,
And the new one tied it in so well, and then people still hating on that. Like if you're not a real fan, you just came in here to start controversy,
yeah.
and people, because that's also the time that we're in of you only get noticed if you don't follow the crowd.
Oh yeah,
but
Yeah.
what
happens
becomes the
with-
crowd when you keep on pouring hate and other things, and it's like, oh well, they know that already, but they
But
don't,
I think that
and then
that's
they
that
change
toxic.
it up.
Yeah, that's that toxic fan base mentality too. And this is,
Yep.
and again, I was guilty of that with the Turtles because I couldn't accept the change of Raphael being the leader versus Leonardo. And so a lot of people, because they love a product so much, they don't want it to change. It's just like if I like Flaming Hot Cheetos and then you mess around to change the formula, I'm gonna know that these ain't the same Cheetos, and I'll be very upset. But they be like, no, man, you got to try these queso. They pretty good. And then you be like, no. And then let it. Then a couple of years later, you be like, these queso Cheetos is pretty good. So it's crazy.
Mhm.
Man.
And that's kind of why.
That's
kind
a
of why
thin
we
line.
like
That's a thin
hold
line
on.
with food that I can't really go into because food, when they changed the original formula from Trix, no,
No, bro, no. Hold on. Because I got another thing about food. Because, like Elliot said, the only problem I only have with any of the remakes of Scooby Doo is they don't make the sandwiches look as good as they used
Not
to.
just that,
I love those
No.
sandwiches.
You know which one? A pup named Scooby Doo. I don't know if you ever
Yeah,
watched
they
that
made
one.
Yeah,
the
we all
sandwiches
watched
look
those.
so
They was so
delicious.
good. They was
was
so
right.
good. We watched that on our way to Chicago. I loved the
And the most
Pup
bizarre
Pup Named
things would be
Scooby-Doo
up
was
in it.
awesome.
Fish, eggs, and all sorts
All
of things.
sorts of
Not
things.
even cooked sometimes.
Not even.
But
It
they
was just
made
a
it look
raw
so
steak and a
delicious.
fish laying up there, and like
But-
eggs. And I think it was
but
like
they
a
they
jar of
always made it
pickles and
look
some
so
other stuff.
so tantalizing. It's like, but why though?
And then every single
And
time,
nobody was questioning that Scooby and Shaggy were eating dog treats because they just made it look so appetizing.
exactly to the point where they just were like,
If that's
Scooby snacks,
Yeah, like actual
Back
Scooby
in real
snacks.
life, those were good.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you know what's funny? They have made some actual Scooby snack cookies. I
Yeah.
used to love them joints.
Yeah, I used to love them cookies. That tasted like nothing else. It
Yes.
tastes like graham crackers with a bit of some else.
Yeah,
They had their own
exactly.
recipe.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Man. You know.
All right.
Oh, I want some, man.
bro, I want a giant sandwich. Those sandwiches were way too big to even fit in someone's mouth.
It was
But
like
they
all
would
the
come-
way up here.
Yeah, they
and
would
then they would
compress it.
compress it. Yeah.
And they eat it, and it's like, how did you manage?
Let me just hold on.
Where did you, I don't know what you're talking about, Dad. Which one? Cause yeah, we
Oh,
what
Okay.
is
That
that?
was something I
What
wasn't
is-
expecting.
what is
Hold on, the fire.
I don't know what that is.
It looks like evil marshmallow man.
Hold on. Hold on. If you take the topic down,
Character
get
that I
in my way.
Oh. Oh my lord. Oh,
That's the wrong one, Matthew. Try again.
Hold on.
yeah. Oh, there you go.
I'm not doing that.
That's better. Oh, man.
If you haven't already, donate it to us. And if you haven't already,
Subscribe to both of the channels because we visit. We have
Mike isn't a part of our main cast. As he
Yeah,
is
but we should subscribe to him too.
Exactly.
You know,
Subscribe to him because next week, like you said, he's gonna have a person who writes comic books. And now that we're
Well, I
talking
don't know
about
when
it,
we're going to reschedule him. Once I get him rescheduled, I'll let you guys know.
all right.
And hey, who knows if you can all get on here? Because you gotta respect the work that goes into comic books because
Absolutely.
it is hard to draw anatomically correct characters in the first place.
interesting.
And then you go into inking stage and everything. Lighting, it's a lot of work.
Oh, can I recommend a comic book? If you guys, it's an artist by the name of Michael Williams, and he has this comic book. Y'all probably already know about it, but he has this comic book called The Tuskegee Heirs, and it's a futuristic comic book. Whereas the main characters pilot like these mechs or planes. They pilot planes that transform like into mechs and stuff. But the cool thing about it is that they're actually descendants of the original Tuskegee Airmen.
That's pretty cool.
It's real cool. I'll send you all the links so y'all can check it out, man. The artwork is fantastic.
Oh, I have to see that.
definitely check that out. But I also have
oh yeah, there you go. Tuskegee Airs,
yeah.
Yeah, man. Check it out.
That out later.
That the guy who does the artwork, I follow him. He does fantastic artwork. I mean, I love his stuff. And that Tuskegee Airs, we have a comic book convention here in Chicago called C2E2 every year. And he was there one year, and I gapped the comics, and he signed them and everything. Man, it was real cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Interesting fact. I actually already wrote a little bit of the story, but I'm right now trying to draw my own manga. So.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, it's going to be a romance story. He's pretty slow to.
Somebody's really throwing this word nerd around. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, like he's not the biggest one of us all. Like, and we have that book that you were mentioning with Batman doing anatomically correct things.
Yeah, that's the one. Yes, sir. I love that book.
Going into all metahumans and what's going on in them.
Yeah.
Again, you got to respect the work that goes into drawing things like that because it is a lot of work.
I know they don't want to play trivia with you. I see why. From when we did the trivia on our show, who want to sit there through that? You answered everything.
Sometimes we get close.
There's one trivia that Dad can't do. It's when he hopped on the PlayStation 5 and opened up the trivia game, and they said which was most popular in 2021, Fortnite Apex, and that was like, what the?
Yeah,
heck?
when it comes to modern day, I wouldn't say that, Elliot, because now you just aware. You just gave Dad his own weakness. Now he's gonna study the whole time.
Now he's gonna
No.
study it.
All right.
That's how we do. You discover the weakness, and then you go, nah, it ain't gonna be a weakness for long.
Nah, it ain't gonna be a weakness tomorrow,
Exactly.
All right. What?
Yeah, but yes, this was a great topic. I am looking forward to having your son on. If the moment that he's available, even if it's not in our normal scheduling hours, we can schedule something because we love comic books.
We love talking about stuff like
Because
this.
we've only
Yeah.
scratched the surface of this. We didn't even talk
Man,
about.
I don't even think we even
rivalry
scratched the
between
surface
Spawn and
because
Flash.
Oh yeah,
it's
we
so
didn't put it in.
many. It's so many conversations to be had, man. Just in regards to just movies and animation, favorite characters. I didn't even talk about favorite. We didn't even talk about favorite
Yeah,
characters.
we didn't talk
Man.
about favorite characters.
But we'll leave that for another
Yeah,
time.
we can leave that for another time.
I'm going to talk to one of my parents about actually trying to post the part one of that story on Facebook before I actually get it art for it. Because
Have you ever?
That's the hard about it, getting an artist for comics because you can have a great story.
Yeah, I have a good story. Everything is clear in my mind. I just don't have anything to draw it with because I'm trying to find good art softwares on PC so I can actually do it easier and actually undo mistakes without it leaving a mark. But it's so hard to find it. And also,
Are you familiar with fan fiction?
Yeah, not for you.
Yes, very unfortunate.
yeah, I made my own characters. Don't worry.
Like
I
even
do that
Oh
with
no,
the-
I
love
actually
the-
love that because I encourage my son because he's a writer too, or he likes writing, and I've been trying to get him for. I'm like, dude, look, as much fan fiction as you read, I don't know why you just don't write your own stories. It's like just go ahead and I mean somebody is gonna like it eventually. I mean, so I'm
Like,
just saying if you haven't done it,
but we
I
do
would
do
check
that.
out.
We do understand that sometimes. Let's get this very clear. But for anybody out here, not all fan fiction is good.
No,
Not all
For
fan fiction.
example,
no.
one of the longest pieces of literature ever made is a fan fiction about the popular Nickelodeon show, The Loud House. The longest.
Stop.
Yeah, I remember when somebody was like, "This is longer than the Bible." I was like,
So we're not.
It's longer
It's a dabble in it, but do
of
not.
literature ever made. Do you know how
Look,
crazy that is?
Eric think I'm not. Eric think I haven't seen his comments, but I've been peeping every last one of them. He's been putting up there.
Listen,
Talking about my background.
we love a whole of those. Original Cartoon Network, Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls,
Come on,
Kids Next Door. We watched all of that.
man. Cow and Chicken. I don't know if y'all remember that. That was
Yes,
hilarious.
halfway naked, almost naked animals.
Yes.
Had all of those.
Man, that was quality programming. I don't know so much now. It's like
Ed, and Eddie.
uh,
It was.
That
It
was a
only
great-
appealed to me because it had my name in it. But when you watch the show, it's like, why am I watching this?
It's the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Oh yeah,
I always
that
used
one, yes, that
Yeah.
was
I love-
excellent.
"Yeah, there was a
And,
lot
and
of
of
good
course,
stories back."
and of course, the goated series, Phineas and Ferb. I mean,
Oh yeah, Phineas and Ferb. I'm
Come on.
excited. Did you
Johnny-
hear about their
Johnny-
making a new
Yeah,
season?
no,
Whatever
Johnny. Here's fun fact: Johnny Quest was a cartoon from back in the late '60s when they used to actually have human mouths animated on the cartoon. Oh wait, was that Johnny Eddie? Was that Johnny Quest? I might be thinking of something else because they used to have these still shots of the animated character, but you would see a human mouth moving while they were talking. It was really
Yeah, I remember somewhat of that show because it used to premiere just before, because they also had Annoying Orange, which
Yeah, it was like annoying orange, exactly.
it was.
all right. But if you haven't
That was
already,
It was always weird too.
you get the new book.
It was Johnny Quest. Yes, Dad, plug in your new book for the people. Dad has finally released the the 101 History Questions book.
Yes,
And
sir.
thank God,
Interactive book.
yeah, we have been on him about that for
The longest.
ever.
Yeah.
But congratulations
People
on getting
think
that
kids
out.
are
Dad.
born in the zero that haven't experienced the golden age. That somebody finally said it.
Look,
Tavon,
bro.
get off the live stream. That's my son's friend. Yeah, no one thinks that. But here's the thing about you all.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Here's the thing about this generation. Y'all don't think things didn't exist until you got here. That's
That
what
is
be
the
cracking me up.
Yeah, that's what. To be fair, we weren't like that because our parents made sure that we weren't. But I do understand
Nowadays, it's like if
when
it ain't,
you-
once you go past 2000, it didn't exist. I'm like, really?
like no, we knew a lot. Like when
Yeah.
people said the VHS player, you say that it's like, what were you doing? What were you doing with that? Like that's what we watched Bob the Builder on.
All right.
Exactly.
The Big Red Dog, Annie the original Annie musical.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Rescue Heroes.
Wonder Pets. Come on.
Man. Rescue Heroes. I forgot about that for a moment.
Hey, Rescue
Yeah, all
Heroes
those
was
boys.
legit. Like I used to watch Rescue Heroes with my boys.
And
I
we
used to
still
like
have the toys from that. What are you talking about?
We had the airplane
yeah,
for
now.
a long time.
I
That
can't.
was-
See, he's mentioning all the stuff I mentioned earlier: Battle of the
Yeah.
Planets, Voltron, Robotech, or Macross, if that's what you want to call it. Yeah, Street Sharks. What was the other ones? Biker Mice from Mars. I don't know if y'all remember that.
That ain't mine because I know.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. If you get a chance, I'm gonna tell you one of my favorites because I know we ran over time. But there was a cartoon called Bionic 6. Your dad probably knows about that. Bionic 6 was one of those cartoons that was ahead of its time. And it was really, really dope because it was about a family who were actually all bionic. You had a dad and you had all of the kids. You had the 2 white kids, you had a black kid and a Chinese kid. They were adopted. Dude, you talk about the first multicultural family on like TV. Bionic 6 was great, and it was one of my favorite shows.
I can't remember.
There you go, Eddie. We are a family. I fight for them. And
I
they
can
fight for me.
I can only just barely remember that
This
because
is great, man. I love
because
that.
we watched the Silverhawks, so we already knew.
Yes.
We know that song from birth. Like,
Well, Silverhawks was just basically a modern version of Battle of the Planets.
yeah, that is true.
That's all it was.
But hey, it had that theme song that was bouncy.
Next
Yeah.
stream, if I
still go my way to watch 90s game shows from Nickelodeon. Double Dare, Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I remember.
Bill Destroy, and Hole in the
that was
Wall.
great.
We still watch those as well, even though it's off the air, because that's what we just grew up with, man.
Yeah.
So I feel you.
all right, but I'm excited to talk for 2 hours. There's next stream. Well, that is if we get 5 likes and a
I'm tempted to go and just do what we did last time and just go into an hour and 30 minutes because it's a lot of passion just right here.
You gotta save your energy. Save the content.
Yeah, save the content.
I'm trying. I really am
gotta
trying.
do what all the cartoons did, Teddy. End on a cliffhanger so that they have to come back.
All right, you got to be like Berserk. Give them a couple
Yep,
of weeks.
Yeah,
like
here.
all
And
right.
they come back.
But all I have to say is thank you for watching. And if you didn't already know, a Dragon Ball voice actor in dub nearly passed out while doing his voice acting and had to. Well, he did pass out and had to redo the voice line.
Yeah, they be torturing the voice actors. Fun facts.
Like, what happened?
The voice actors being tortured.
He was giving his all.
Yeah, he gave his all right. There it is. Yes, get your book here with this link. That's history book, 101 history questions. we have all been waiting and pressing him to get this book out because
Tell us how
it
many you
needs to
get
be
right.
out here.
Tell us.
Yes. Next stream, tell us how many did you get right. There is no shame because even though we're his kids, I can tell you already. The first 9 questions, I probably only got around a good 4 of those correct.
Hey,
All right.
And you should be ashamed for that, Teddy. You my brother, so I can shame you.
This said by somebody I'm pretty sure would only get 2 right, bro. Nah, bro.
I get all 9.
But without
Good luck.
further ado, I'll let our guest say the catch line to end this episode off after this time.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what happened?
You can say the final words and our special line that we always say when we're in the extreme.
You be your special word.
Right, I'm like yours, because I don't know what the special line
Oh
is.
yeah, right.
Go ahead, Elliot.
Cue the jazz.